Kevin, and back then and now. The reason I said that he wouldn't place is because, let's see, I've been in the game longer than everybody. Okay, I've been training, I've been pro now for 18 years. But you have to continue to train. You can't stop and take a break for years. That's what because people say all the time, well, Dexter's still training. I mean, Dexter's still doing well, he's still winning shows. That's because I'm still training and I never stopped. Well, everybody must kind of knows, as you get older, the first thing goes is your legs. Well, I'm still fighting Father Time off right now. I'm still whooping his ass, but but I'm sure someday, nah, I'm gonna retire before that happens. But to get back to my point, I knew it would be very, very difficult for him. I knew he probably could get his upper body pretty decent, but as I said, we all know legs are the first thing to go, and it will be extremely, extremely hard for you to build your legs back up in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Now, the first thing I would have did, if I would have came back, I probably, if I took so long off and tried to come back, he should have took like 2 years off, or at least a good whole year of full training.
He had a whole year.
No, he had 6 months.
No, he didn't have 6 months. He trained the whole year.
He trained the whole year? Well, he should have took 5 years.
These guys are coming up behind me and watching the careers of Rich Gaspari. I know what it takes. I was there on that Olympia stage 13 years, so I know that that's not something you do in a year at 51 years old. I heard us saying he's going to go back and he has to qualify. He lost all bodybuilding credibility as I saw it. It's gone.
We're big on
John Romano Jones. They're in the same boat.
Here we go, Dave.
Literally the only one.
Where are you on the mic, Dave?
The only one that said that he will win the show. Now, Kevin and Dave were good friends leading up to the Olympia. And all of a sudden now, after the Olympia, Kevin and Dave are not the best of friends anymore because Dave basically changed his prediction for the future and said that you would train your legs for 2 weeks and it will be better than Kevin, so 4 weeks. So, Dave, you get the word next to see how you can explain yourself and maybe get some of that credibility back.
I'll stop by saying I probably have the most credibility of the people who critique the sport out there because I tell it like it is, I tell the truth, and I report what I see. I don't toe the party line like some of these other guys do because they want to be politically correct. However, having said that, my prediction about Kevin Levrone was based on false evidence. I've helped Kevin Levrone in the past for a couple of his shows, and I've seen him go from looking like Sean Ray, nothing, to looking like the world champion in 16 weeks, like I've never seen a body transform before. However, I assumed that his genetic ability to put muscle on it and accelerate a rate would be comparable today, given the fact that he told me he had no injuries, he felt healthy, and he felt that he could, be his best. As he started to progress and put muscle back on his body, and he sent me pictures of his upper body, I saw how fast his muscle was coming back and his physique was coming back, and we all saw it. He posted pictures, and he looked really good. So I had no reason to believe that his legs would not come back as well as his upper body. The problem was when I made my prediction, I never saw his legs. He wouldn't show anyone his legs. Not even some of his best friends, Sean Ray, would he show his legs. That should have, tipped me off that something was awry, but I said, you know what, maybe he wants to just unveil a package that no one has seen before. So I felt that it was, my obligation as a guy who's a friend of his, a person who's seen his body back in the 90s and early 2000s transform. I said, you know what, I'm going to go on record as making a very bold prediction, whether it'd be controversial or not. I thought it would be good for the sport, good for hyping the Olympia. And I said, you know what, maybe I'll be right. If I'm right, I'll look like a hero. If not, I'll deal with it. When Kevin stepped on stage, on the Olympia stage, and I saw him for the first time, legs and all, Sean, I think, was sitting about 2 seats over me, and Sean already was ready to, collect on whatever bets he thought we had, or whatever, I had to bow down to him and tell him he was right. I don't like to admit I'm wrong, but you know what? He was right. So, being the honest critic that I am, telling it like it is, I said it like it is. I said Kevin's legs were so terrible that I felt if I trained for 4 weeks, my legs would have looked better. And that got him, and he was insulted by that, but it was the truth. Once again, I believe in telling the truth.
Okay.
So, hold on. So was I wrong? I was wrong, but at the same time, did the sport of bodybuilding benefit from it? Absolutely, because this was one of the most hyped Mr. Olympia contests that I can remember, and it was exciting. It was exciting, and that's the way it went, you know. And you know what? If Kevin wants to continue, I think it's a mistake. I'll agree with Sean and Dexter and Flex on that thing.
I don't believe that if you're a friend of somebody, you have to diss them, and when the ship is going down, then you desert them. That ain't a friend. You're never friends. No. You don't have to disrespect your friend.
No disrespect.
I gave you the floor. Let me finish. So the other thing is, you know, what I thought about Kevin, I always said, what if? Because I competed on a high level. I always understood it's a what if, not what I've done, what if. So I always said if Kevin can come back in a 90 percentile, he'd crush everybody, which is the truth. I don't think nobody's going to disagree with that. So that's my what if about it. But even Dexter, it's a what if. If Dexter comes back in and competes the way he has been, he's going to kick ass. But if he doesn't, it's a what if on that. So, and the other thing, I don't understand, if you were friends, why would you make such statements that you could train your legs for 2 weeks and looks better than his? That's not true. And the second thing is, no matter what, when you speak about Kevin, you have to recognize this guy goes down as one of the greatest bodybuilders in the history of the sport. That claims respect right off the top. So again, I don't understand how you can support a person and then not support them when they're failed. You can be honest still. Did Kevin look great? No. Did he look great for 51? Of course he did. Did he hold to his word and do something that nobody ever done after 15 years? Yes, he did. He kept to his word. But that don't mean you have to basically shit on the guy publicly because he failed. You can still support him if you were his friend. If not, that wasn't really a friendship. So it's about respect. Other than Richie, I had the honor of standing on stage with all these gentlemen, and no matter what, it'd be respect that I give them. Now, so again, to talk such harshly about Kevin, it doesn't show any respect for his legacy. Even to throw Sean Ray here, who's also considered one of the greatest in time, and say that you can look better than him, or that he looked as horrible.
I think the difference that what Flex is saying, because Dave and I were polar opposites in our opinion of what Kevin was trying to do. And we were both friends of Kevin. I think I was a closer friend because we had a more intimate relationship competitively and off stage. He was there when my first kid was born. What Dave was saying about Kevin is, I want a friend to be honest. And sometimes when a friend tells you what you don't want to hear because it's the truth, it hurts. It cuts deeper because you're close, you're closer. So I was closer to Kevin. I told him what he didn't want to hear, and then he cut me out because he wanted to be around positivity. And I didn't lose anything because I was true and I was honest, which is what friends should do. And Dave was just the opposite. Dave was a friend, told him what he wanted to hear, encouraged him to do what he wanted to do, and when it went south, Dave cut him out. At the end of the day, Kevin did what he wanted to do to make himself happy, and I was happy for him. But to be honest, as a friend, what he did on that stage didn't do anything except disrespect the other bodybuilders that had to qualify to get there. He has a lifetime Olympia qualification because he's Mr. Olympia. He had to earn that. And I think the athletes felt a little disrespected because they just, to pump up the show, to incite the fans, to get people excited, they threw a guy out there to the wolves, and when he got beat up and cut down, Dave cut him loose, and that's not what friendship is for me. I'm still a friend to Kevin, whether he's a friend of me or not. What I told him was the truth.
I just want to respond just because Kevin kind of used me in a sense as his hype machine. So when I realized that I was used because he didn't really show me his legs or tell me that he wasn't going to be his best because he obviously knew that, I became upset at the fact that he used me. So I then critiqued him very harshly. That's not a lack of friendship. That's my duty as a press person to call it like it is. So you called it like it is prior to that. I didn't make that decision because I was misled, essentially. So I agree with you, Sean. He needed to be told what it was. It wasn't done in a disrespectful way. What I said about Sean before was a joke. And you know, we do a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff, so if you want to take everything, and I think you're just very sensitive, Flex. You know, we're just joking around. I respect all you guys up here, you know, more so than anything, because I never achieved a quarter of what you guys achieved, and I would never take that away from you guys. But also, as the press, not only am I avowed to tell the truth, I also am about to entertain people. So a lot of what I say is funny stuff, tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, I'll sit and break bread with these guys. So, you know, some people are sensitive about things and take things personally. Other people get it. And I think mostly the fans get the humor aspect. It was a joke, but I have just genetically very good legs, and I think that even with a quad injury, I think that I think my legs probably could look comparable to the way his did. The reason I said that was because they were so bad on stage that they didn't belong up there, and that's really
But would you put money on it? If I say right now $10,000, and put $10,000. Oh, we can chip in if you want. I'll put $10,000 on it, and we give you 4 weeks.
And you know what? You said you're a media man, right? Right? You said this for the media. This would be great for the media. Great for the media, right? Whatever.
No, you can still say that I was a joke. I'm not going to do it. I don't feel like training that hard. But would you take the $10,000 and we'll give you 4 weeks, and then we'll put you next to Kevin?
I'm in baby making protocol right now, so my wife won't go on with that. Right?
I got 5 of them. Come on now. Come on.
I wanted to say it was an honor to be up here also with all these guys, and hopefully you guys enjoyed, you know, what went on up here. And despite all the disagreements and the ribbing and the jabbing we all give each other, we could all sit down and have dinner, you know, together and talk about the old times. That's what it's all about. I mean, we all have the same passions, the same loves of the sport, and the same excitement when we talk about the sport. And I think that's what makes it special. We all have that in relation, even if we might not agree on everything that we do.